We're going to have a discussion over the very highly debated topic, especially amongst the people here on the staff, the power of prayer. People, they think that, you know, if they say a little prayer or whatever, that you're going to, if you ask for it, you're going to get it. There's a couple things here. People will say that, you know, you can't test their God. Well, you know, if they apparently have not read their Bible. If you go into 1 Kings 18 from 23 to 38, basically they were saying putting up Baal, the god Baal, against their God, and it was Elijah. It was Elijah versus the Ahab, and they were saying, you know, the Ahabs were saying, you know, they were worshiping the god Baal, and Baal, they had a little contest. Say, okay, you build your temple or your altar, whatever, and we'll build ours after yours, and we'll see which god responds. So if people who think that their God doesn't respond right away, read those chapters I mentioned, because when Elijah goes to do his prayer, God immediately responds. And the other ones, he doesn't. The thing is, if you say that your God cannot respond to your prayer immediately, then you've obviously never read the Bible. The thing is here, since none of us here, well, most of us here on the show don't believe in that. I said most of us, I didn't say all. I said most of us don't believe in that stuff. It's pretty clear. Now, there's also the other parts of the claim is if you Mark 11:24, if you ask for it, you can believe it, and believe it, you'll get it. And in John 14:14, if you ask for anything in his name, he will do it. So it should do it, right? But there was a test of prayer back in 2006. What they did was they had people who would pray for people who are undergoing heart surgery and had heart condition, whatever, and they were asked to pray on this. And they found no results that showed that prayer actually worked. One of the things is they had a control group, and they also had a group where they were told that they were going to be prayed for. And then we had a third group that said they were prayed for, but they were never told they were being prayed for. Now, between the control group and the group that said that prayed for them, but they didn't tell them, there was no discernible difference between the two. What's interesting about this is the group that said that they were being prayed for, they actually got worse. So when everybody says they're going to pray for me, I always tell them, hey, please don't. I want to stay healthy. So we're going to start this. We're going to start the timer out. And Crystal, since I know you're the believer here on the show, can you give us any proof or evidence or your take on belief in prayer, or if prayer works? And your time starts now.
I cannot present you evidence.
Oh, well, that's it. No, just kidding.
No more than I can present you a God. I can only tell you my own personal belief. I do believe in prayer. I do pray. I think that a lot of times that it could be seen as meditation, as chanting, whatever you want to call it, communicating with nature, whatever. To me, it's prayer. That's a personal connection between me and God. That does not involve you. It does not involve anybody else. That's just my belief system. And I get comfort from that. If it benefits me in some way, then I'm all for it. I do pray for other people. I may not tell you I'm praying for you because that may offend you. But like if I have a friend that's having problems, or people that are having problems I don't know, I will say prayers for them. I just do. I believe in it. I believe in the power of that. There's been numerous studies. You're never going to prove this. But there was one study with end-stage AIDS patients that was done, and that study did find a benefit of what they call distant prayer, which was people from different religions, Buddhists, Jews, Christians, praying for specific AIDS patients, and the AIDS patients not knowing this was happening. In the control group, there was no change. In the people that were prayed for, there were fewer visits, less illnesses, etc. This is all very subjective, and you're never going to have a concrete answer. Either you believe in it or you don't, and that's a personal choice.
You had 10 seconds. No? Okay.
And that's all. I think that's it.
Okay. Actually, I think I know the study you're talking about, and it was actually disproven because it was not done properly, for one, and two, it was a biased study. So they got the results that they wanted because they went with the results that they wanted because that's what they wanted the outcome to come out that way.
Interestingly enough, though, real quick, she had over $600,000 grant for one study and over $800,000 grant for the other study.
Yeah,
this is taxpayer money.
Yeah, and it's there is a big part of it right there. If you could shoot me that link, and I'll take a look at it a little bit closer. But if it's what I'm thinking is, I have heard of this, and it was a biased study, so the results were valid. Joe, your time is starts now.
I don't pray. I have moments of silence.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my moment of silence. Just kidding.
That's what you're doing.
No, I looked up a little bit of stuff on this. I found some information about the Templeton Prayer Study, which I think was the one you were referring to, Packard. It said that more than 59% in the control group suffered more complications than the groups who did not know if they were being prayed for, which was only 51%. And 18% of those in the uninformed prayer group suffered major complications, including heart attack, as compared to 13% in the group that did not receive prayers.
Right.
So, it seems that if people know they're being prayed for, that's kind of bad, and really, if people don't know, then it really, it kind of works out the same. I mean, 18 and 13%, it's, people are going to have heart attacks if they have like really bad heart conditions. I'm sorry, a little distracted because I'm having a lot of computer problems, but I don't think prayer has any value. I think it's just more or less just talking to yourself. But I don't believe in that stuff. So, and I don't know. Packard, I'm going to bow out of this one because I'm like about to take a hammer to this thing.
Okay. All right. All right, that's fine.
I'll pray for your computer.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I've been praying for it, all right.
He's praying that hammer doesn't find its way to that keyboard.
I've only got like 10 seconds left anyway, so I filled up most of my time.
Yeah, well, most of it. Yeah, well, actually about 30. Actually, you had left. That's all right. No, yeah, there's a lot of those studies are that where they say that the prayers come out positively has usually been biased in some way. The Templeton one, for the one that you cited there, and the one I referred to, is usually those are done by independent studies, and they're not going to skew the results one way or the other to prove something. If you're going to pray, all you're doing is talking to yourself. And if people say if you're going to make yourself feel good, go for it. But
right,
that's all there is to it. You're not doing anything. You're not accomplishing anything. There's nothing to it. You're just wasting time. If you want to do something, there's a saying. If you goes, 2 hands working does more work than 1,000 hands clasped in prayer, because they're actually doing something. And there's no evidence that prayer actually works. If you say take a horseshoe and you say this horseshoe is going to heal you, you have the same results if the horseshoe was not even in the picture. Or if you say, I'm going to pray to God, say, let's say we'll take 6 pairs of dice, and you throw them in a bowl, and you say, okay, please God, I pray over these dice, whatever, please give me 6 sixes. Now, scientifically, if you're thinking rationally, you can try this over and over again, and there's no way that that prayer is going to create 6 sixes every time. If God was real and prayer worked, that would come up 6 sixes every single time. Because apparently, if God can know what's going to happen to a sparrow if it falls from the sky, it can follow your little prayer to move 6 dice in the way you want to. But you know what? That's never going to happen.